Hey everybody, welcome back to my homestead. If you're new here, my name is Emily, and that apple tree back there is getting pretty droopy. It's getting weighed down pretty heavily by the apples, and they are ripe and ready to go, so we are going to be picking them today. The kids are supposed to meet me out here, and I've got some baskets that we're going to fill. We're definitely not going to get all the apples today, but we're going to get a start. At least get some weight off of these branches so they don't break. But while I'm waiting for them, I will show you what I've been up to in the garden. It's been raining off and on the last couple of days, and so I've been out here off and on between and sometimes during the rain to bring over some more compost from that compost pile and put it down and put down more hay and plant seeds in little rows, between the hay, just to get some more fall crops in. I've also got some starts planted that my sister had given me, and so let's take a look. This is where I had the potatoes before. I didn't add any compost here, but I just made little holes in the hay that we had and put in these plants. This is, I believe, some tot soy, and they're not very big. They're kind of puny. This, I believe, is Mizuna. And, oh dear, I don't even see what I put in here. No, that's gone. Well, there's one there. Some mustard. There's another mustard right there. Not all of those survived, unfortunately, but the ones that did look okay, and I'm not too worried about them being so puny because these cabbage and kale and all that were really puny when I put them in, and they ended up doing okay, so I'm optimistic. And then you can see here I made some rows in the mulch, and I planted various things, just some seeds in the ground. And then I planted some more seeds in rows here. This is where I added the compost and then put hay on top and made rows. I planted some pak choi, celery, rutabagas, radishes, some more broccoli and cauliflower and kohlrabi, and then in the row where I planted the peas the other day, here's where I planted the peas, and they're doing pretty good. But between the peas and the beans, I planted a whole bunch of radish seeds all the way down the whole bed. Oh. The kids are here and ready to go. I saw the other one coming, but I don't see him yet. And then over there, the last bed, I planted a few seeds for bunching onions. So we'll see how everything does. We're pretty close to our first frost, so we may not get anything, but we might. So I went ahead and planted some stuff just in case, and I plan to put a row cover over as much of this row where I planted all those seeds as I can, just to prevent them from getting eaten by deer, because the deer keep coming in the garden and taking little nibbles off of my sunflowers and different things. And also the cabbage looper moths, those are out in force. And also, if I can put frost fabric on them during the first few frosts, maybe they'll get more established, because everything I planted is cold tolerant. So now we're going to get started picking apples. Supposedly we have a perfect apple over here that is unreachable.
Right there. See that one?
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Can you hold the camera?
Yeah.
Here. It's got some holes, but It's pretty big, pretty nice.
And look at all the other ones I got in my basket. Look how big these are. They're huge. I got this massive apple. Look at it, it's so huge. So it was hard to get, but it was worth it. This is gonna make some good apples. Okay,
Here are our 3 baskets of apples, and most of them, have bug spots on them. There's, holes. There's whatever this is on many of them. So I'm just going to have to cut around. They've got this discoloration on their skin, which I don't think is a big deal. There's this one. This is probably the closest to perfect one we've got. There is still that little spot right there. But I would feel comfortable just taking a bite out of this one and not worrying I'm gonna find a bug or a worm. So that's pretty awesome. Oh, we've got a few more apples coming in from the youngest one.
no surrender.
We mainly focused on this first tree here that's got bigger apples. There's this other tree over here that still has, they both still have tons of apples, but we tried to get the nicest looking ones just from our perspective picking that we could reach from the ground. We'll have to come back out and get apples from this tree with the smaller apples, and also come out with a ladder and get higher up apples. But there's still tons and tons and tons of apples. I think that might be the biggest one.
Yeah, and I found it and I picked it.
Didn't I pick that one and hand it to you?
No, I picked this one. I picked this one, Mom.
Okay, that's not the one you called me over to and said, Mom,
No.
get that apple, please.
This is the one I picked, and it's so big.
The middle child is coming over with a cart so we can put the apples in the cart and bring them to the house.
Oh, I thought we were just gonna pile in all the apples.
No, we're not taking the cart into the house. Just the baskets.
Yep.
Let your brother get that.
Mine? I also got the smallest basket.
Thank you for helping. Do you still have an apple in your pocket? Oh, is that big one? Are you going to eat it?
I want to show it up. That big apple. Dad.
Thank you for hanging out with us today while we picked all these apples. Round 1 of picking apples. Not sure how many rounds there will be, but first I'm going to try to get those processed in some way. It's going to take me a while because I do not have one of those apple peeler core things where you just crank the handle and it's magically sliced and peeled and cored. Plus these are kind of wonky shaped apples. They're not all completely round, so I'm not sure how well that would work on these anyway. But I will figure out what we're going to do with them. Probably a lot of applesauce. Hopefully at least 1 apple pie's worth are good enough. And maybe we'll find a few that look nice enough to save in the fridge for eating later. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.